Mm. What's cracking? What's up? What's popping? What's happening? What's cracking? Now, what's going on, man? So, we're gonna react to another video. Harlem Gang Wars. Taft, AIO, Air It Out versus LVLA, Wody, and TMG, True Money Gang, Mad Ab. These New York, hey, these gangs are just too many of them motherfuckers. You don't know who the hell is what. Factions and factions and factions on top of factions and factions on top of factions. God damn it. But I got my food. We're gonna eat and watch this video and we're gonna react to it. So if y'all get hungry, go get y'all goddamn food, man. Stop looking at mine. It's Mexican shit, man. Well, not Mexican shit, but it's food, right? Somewhat. Uh yeah, I'm gonna share my intro. Post up, chill. Go grab your blunts, go grab your drink, go grab your food, subscribe to the channel. So right back, chill. Don't go nowhere. We're ready. Alright, so Harlem Gang Wars, man. Hey man, New York, I would love to go visit that shit, man. Just visit, not stay, just visit. Feel me? Just visit. But let's see what's going on over there, man. Let's see who been killed, for what reason, which girl got what gang wars going. So let's see.
Back in Harlem, East Harlem to be specific. Let's get to that. From 2010 to 2013, members of the Air It Out, AIO, True Money Gang, TMG, and Wody gangs had incriminated themselves in expletive-ridden rants on social media as they terrorized a 30-block area around the northeast corner of Central Park. Police say the gangs were involved in at least 3 murders, 30 shootings, and countless acts of violence and robbery in the neighborhood beginning in 2009, when 3 members of the TMG were shot. Locals lived in fear of getting shot while trying to go about their daily lives, Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance said in a press release announcing the arrests. So, we are not going to waste any time, let's get into it. In East Harlem, specifically from October 2009 to April 2013, there were 66 non-fatal shootings and 7 homicides in an area covering less than half a square mile. However, the situation changed drastically after the implementation of the gang conspiracy indictment. Over the next year, April 2013 to April 2014, there were only 3 shootings in the same area, representing an 85% drop from the previous.
The crazy part about this, they're so damn close to each other. It's like instead of y'all hanging out, how y'all hate each other? You're like a bricks throw away. See what I'm saying? Like in next block, the whole different type of gang. Yeah, beefing with each other. Look at the back here. What's up? Yeah, boy, don't pull us. Don't throw your trash away. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Weird, man. And there's always people that are next to each other that beefing it. Yeah, it's just man, it's crazy, bro. This gang shit got way out of hand, man.
Previous 4-year average. This reduction in violence was achieved through the Manhattan District Attorney's efforts to modernize prosecution into intelligence-driven crime fighting. They established the Crime Strategies Unit (CSU), which communicates daily with local police and collects data on significant criminal individuals and persons of interest, such as uncooperative witnesses. The CSU's arrest alert system ensures that any arrest made in the city involving these individuals immediately notifies a senior CSU attorney. The attorney then collaborates with a local district attorney assigned to the case to prevent the defendant from evading justice. This approach acknowledges that a defendant's official arrest and conviction history may not reflect their true position in the criminal network. For instance, a young gang member responsible for multiple shootings in his neighborhood might never have been arrested due to uncooperative witnesses or a lack of evidence. However, armed with intelligence gathered by the CSU, the prosecuting attorney can build stronger cases against such individuals and potentially convince them to cooperate. Social media has also become a valuable tool for law enforcement. The indictments in the 2013 East Harlem gang conspiracy case.
Yup. Straight up, man. Hey, they be snitching on themselves, bro. That's the crazy part about it. Social media, it's like the best weapon and the worst weapon because they use social media to go at it. They use social media to hype up this beat, to talk so much disrespectful shit to the other side, but at the same time, is it good because the cops are like, yeah, let's see what he's saying. Let's see what he's gonna say after so and so happened. We're gonna see who's talking about it, and that's what we're gonna focus on. So they be snitching on themselves, bro. But if social media wasn't around, you couldn't talk a lot of shit unless you were face to face with each other. And you know everybody knows, bro. People don't talk face to face, and they don't talk shit to each other when they're in close proximity. So social media is kind of like a downfall, and at the same time, it's a downfall for everybody else because they're snitching on themselves on social media. So you know, cops love it, people love it, but it's the devil.
Case, for instance, consisted almost exclusively of the Facebook postings of the defendants, as well as recordings of their phone calls whenever they were confined at Rikers. Those communications gave insight to an escalating turf war that began on October 26, 2009, with a fatal broad daylight shooting of 19-year-old John Williams at a basketball game. Williams was a resident of the Johnson Houses, one of East Harlem's many sprawling public housing complexes, and a well-known figure in the area's gang scene. The gunman killed Williams with a single shot to the back of the head during an altercation near the Taft Houses. A second teen was shot in the leg during the altercation, but survived. Sources said the murder was linked to an argument the two gangs had over a gun. The witnesses to Williams' murder did not cooperate with the police. Williams was a member of the True Money Gang. Williams' fellow members in the True Money Gang, based in the Johnson Houses, believed that the Air It Out Gang, based in the neighboring Taft Houses, was responsible.
What's up? Yeah, what's up, man? Hey, you watching this shit? Come on, man. Show me some love. Subscribe to the channel, man. For real. Show me some love.
Less than 2 weeks later, cops identified Kendall Scott, 17 at the time, as the gunman who killed John Williams.
That's what I'm saying. Neighboring building, the building right next to you, bro. Like, how you live in the building right next to you and you guys are beefing with each other, man? Yo, my building is better than y'all, bro. I got 2 bedrooms. Y'all only got 1. I don't got roaches, you got mice. Yo, my building has an extra floor, bro. My building is taller than yours. We got extra windows in this boy. Yeah, man, our living room is bigger than yours, bro, so our building's a lot better. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous, bro. Y'all in a goddamn complex beefing with another complex. Yeah, man. When you guys live in a crowded place, man, there's nothing to do, so you guys just start beefing with each other, man. And then when you get locked up, you guys are crying, oh, they snitch on me. Nah, you snitch yourself, motherfucker.
He was on
Stop
the
doing
run.
shit like that.
The Johnson Houses True Money Gang formed an alliance with the Wode Gang, which is a few blocks south of Taft and based in the Lehman Houses. They plan to take revenge on Air It Out. This is how it looks from an aerial perspective. Here are the Johnson Houses, True Money Gang and their allies, the Lehman Houses, Wode. Here is Taft Houses. Two of the warring projects, Johnson and Taft, were only separated by Park Avenue and an elevated railroad track. Anyway, the death of John Williams would be a plague of violence over the next 3 years. Gunfire erupted in public thoroughfares, fights broke out in Manhattan's courthouses, a True Money Gang member was stomped on the head while held underwater in Central Park's Harlem Near. In late December 2009, Alex, then 16 and a member of Air It Out, was shot. A member of True Money Gang, Tremaine Cosby, repeatedly expressed a need to avenge Williams' death. He began a bloody tirade, boasting on Facebook along the way, according to the indictment. Mr. Cosby, then 18, shot a rival on November 19, 2010. Cosby was a cop, and the Air Out crew sought to kill him. Joseph, aka G-Lock, was one of the Air It Out members gunning for Cosby, and social media post revealed that. On December 14, 2010, G-Lock wrote, "Rip Tremaine Crosby." This was a direct threat to Maine. According to the indictment, on January 7, 2011, Scrap and another member of AIO was in the area of the Johnson Houses, home of the True Money Gang. They were armed with a .22 handgun and spotted Maine. One of them drew the gun and fired at Maine. Now things get a little blurry here, because according to officials, Maine did shoot someone this day, and he was also charged with shooting Scrap at some point. This would possibly mean that during this shooting, Maine fired as well, getting the best of the exchange by striking Scrap, who was the top defendant in the AIO indictment. However, Maine was not hit, and Scrap was arrested. Maine later posted on his Facebook page, "Taft dead, AIO dead." Maine was also charged with shooting Justin, another Air It Out member, so there could possibly be a mix-up there. A few days after the Maine and Scrap sitchy, G-Lock was back at it on social media as well. He posted, "Time to catch headshots on that fat cheesecake mother effer, fuck that, free Scrap or die." This wasn't hard to decipher for law enforcement. It simply meant it was time to shoot Maine in the head, encouraged fellow gang members to retaliate against True Money Gang, and acknowledged the arrest of Scrap. On January 7, a week after the attempt by Scrap to shoot Maine, G-Lock wrote, "I love when I got the grip and the AIO goons tell me bust that shit and it start going up like it's July 4th. Then a week later, on January 21, 2011, G-Lock wrote, "We gonna kill Tremaine Cosby fat ass." In fact, 10 days later, Maine had again become a target. On January 31, 2011, he encountered AIO member Kreider in the vicinity of Madison Avenue between East 112th and 115th Streets. Shots were fired. Kreider was hit, Mr. Cosby was not, the indictment said. Mr. Kreider complained to a fellow gang member on Facebook that day that his gun just clicked when he pulled the trigger. "I could have killed Maine," he said, "but there's no bullets." On April 24, 2011, near the Taft Building on 112th and Madison, Eric, accompanied by Mike, Monday, George, Kreider and other AIO members, pointed and repeatedly fired a .40 caliber pistol at a group of people who were running south on Madison Avenue. Not sure if TMG or Wode was who they were shooting at, but in this situation, they were shooting from their own turf. There was another shooting in the AIO territory a few days later on May 3. While Air It Out member George held the door open to the building on 112th Street, G-Lock, and Monday ran after a Wode gang member named John and another person. G-Lock possessed a loaded .25 caliber pistol and pointed and fired the pistol at the other person, striking them in the leg. By June, Air It Out member Boogie, who was incarcerated at the time, told an associate of a rumored secret indictment against the gang and vowed to snuff a suspected snitcher when he got out of jail. The indictment would soon come to fruition. For now, intel was being gathered. It was tit-for-tat shootings, and no bodies had dropped since the murder of John Williams back in '09. But the summer of 2011 changed all that. On July 15, 2011, a teenager was shot to death while making a trip to a corner store near his home in East Harlem. Police say a man came up to Juan Ortero, 15, in front of the Peaceful Valley Community Garden at East 117th Street and Madison Avenue around 9:30 p.m. and opened fire. Reports said that Ortero was shot 3 times and was rushed to Metropolitan Hospital. Juan, who had the alias Chica Ding, repped AIO, the Air It Out crew. 7 months earlier, he was shot in the hand at a party in another housing project on Park Avenue. He also had a prior arrest for robbery. This time, he wasn't so lucky. A bullet had entered his stomach and killed him. He was dead before he even hit the hospital, his mother said. "He ain't never gonna come back home. He's never coming home." A makeshift memorial with 15 candles, one for each year that Ortero lived, marked the spot where the 10th grader was gunned down. According to his mom, she came home and the streets
Still watching? Subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button.
were taped off. She had a gut feeling. She ran from Park Avenue where a cop stopped her. She's like, "No." And she pushed the cop out of the way. She saw her brother, and that's when she knew. His mom said her son fell in with the wrong crowd, but he didn't deserve to die. "All I wanted him to do was to get an education and go to college and live a good life, that's all I wanted. For him to be good and not to worry about what's going on out there, there's nothing out there for him." That was our biggest argument with each other. She stated that her son wasn't the first, and he wouldn't be the last to die that summer. "Believe me, the streets is hot," she said. "There's going to be a lot more deaths and a lot of mothers feeling the way I feel. I wish them all the best, no one deserves this." Not sure if his murder has been solved even up until this day. In July 2011, Alex, who was shot back in 2000,
Man, that's crazy. These kids, man. It is who you hang out with, bro. But at the same time, your kid can make a choice. But at the same time, on top of that, you basically can't, because if he says, "Nah, bro, I'm cool. I ain't trying to do all that," what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? They're gonna be like, they're gonna start clowning him. They're gonna start making fun of him. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you pussy, you know what I mean? Woo woo, are you you know what I'm saying? Are you scared? You know what I mean? So peer pressure, and so he really doesn't have a choice, man. Cause you know what I mean? They're gonna start treating him different. But yeah, man. As parents, that's how we want. We want our kids just to education, live a good life. But man, there's only so much we could do, man. There's only so much you can do. The street always wins. Street always grabs a hold of people, and the street showed no love. Even though they say, "Oh, we fund the streets, man. We love the streets." Yeah, but the streets don't love you. Shit.
2009, said that his members were expected to retaliate, but instead 3 more of them had been shot, including the death of CHICANO. "Ain't no AIO until I see some blood," he posted, according to the indictment. This was referring to others claiming the set and haven't put in any pain. He expressed his frustrations in a message sent to a fellow AIO member in 2011, which read, "God forgives, I don't, somebody gotta die." In September 2011, Alex offered $300 via Facebook to Day, an AIO member, if he clapped a trill, TMG, or Wode, before October. In attempt to conceal the bounty, he added, "Erase these messages now."
Join large-scale battles with military vehicles. The online action game War Thunder has received a major update.
$300. $300 to clap somebody.
In October 2011, Kreider sent a message to Alex, saying he had been shot in the foot by a rival with the Wode gang and was plotting revenge. Prosecutors said Alex responded, "You still got the 2.5," referring to a small caliber handgun. Earlier, we spoke about how a True Money gang member got his head stomped and held underwater at the Harlem Mere. The Harlem Mere is a water body in the northeast corner of Central Park and a spot for observing wildlife, relaxing, and picnicking. As you can see, it's located right here in between AIO, in the Taft houses, and Wode, in the Lehman houses. Anyway, Martinez Linners, an AIO member, had participated in the Harlem Mere stomping. A fellow AIO member reported in a Rikers call in September 2011 that Martinez Linners was going crazy with his gun and that he had shot at Wode and True Money gang rivals. Martinez Linners posted Taft as an acronym on Facebook in January 2012. It meant this: terrorizing anybody from Trella and torture anybody from 10th. The crews would exchange threats to each other the whole time via social media before another murder took place. In the previous video, we spoke about Dizzle Loke, or Ob Dizzle, the Hoover Crip that was said to have started the Wode lingo. In early 2012, 16-year-old Dizzle Loke, real name Aubrey Jackson, was viciously beaten around the Taft houses. He died after an 8-month coma in the hospital. The nature of the beating was not discussed, and we don't know if anyone was ever charged with the murder. It makes you think about what happened to Noah from the Bronx. It's possible that it happened in a similar fashion. Coincidentally, Noah was 16, as was Dizzle. Today, the Wode crew still celebrates Ob Dizzle, and the hood still identifies as LVLA, in honor of fallen member LA. We will get to LA's timeline in a later video. As for Ob Dizzle though, he knew he himself was a target. He sent a Facebook message to one of Wode's ringleaders in March 2011. "AIO ninjas came for me, man, and then asked for a gun. Aight, when you gonna let me hold that? You got one for sale." Wode ringleader Gabe, aka Grizzy, posted to the late Dizzle in 2011. "Nah, I got the 2.5 joint, but it don't flocka because JP lost the fire pin. Just gas somebody up to buy it for $250, and I will buy another one and let y'all little woes hold it down." Unfortunately, Aubrey didn't see past the year 2012. Although Grizz was willing to have his fellow Wode members hold his gun, other Confederates were not always so gracious. Mac Lex, another member, boasted from Rikers in September 2011 that he had a new gun and he wasn't sharing it with anyone. In mid-June of 2012, a 17-year-old teen was arrested after allegedly firing on a crowd of people and then leading police on a wild chase through East Harlem. The suspect was Sean, a member of the Wode gang. It was alleged that Sean fired his revolver several times at a group of people on the around the Taft houses on 1/12 and 1/13 around 11:15 p.m. No one was hit by the bullets though. 3 officers part of the Manhattan North Gang unit observed the shooting and chased after Sean, who fled on a walkway through rival RICAN territory, Taft Houses, and across 5th Avenue to Martin Luther King Jr. Towers, also known as Forsta Projects. Anyway, during the chase, cops said Terrell pointed his gun at the officers. Police fired at him, but no one was hit. Eventually, he was caught. He was hit with wild charges. Now, we have to get back to AIO member, Martinez Linares, who we spoke about earlier. Remember? The one whose gun was said to be going crazy. Yeah. Well, in late May of 2017, cops charged 21-year-old Martinez Linares with the murder of Ramis Mera, who went by the name Rambo. Mera was blasted in the chest, left arm, and right thigh, leaving the Truth Bar on Bronxwood Avenue near East 221st Street in Williamsbridge about 4 a.m. The victim was arguing with Martinez Linares and 23-year-old Tyrell when Martinez Linares whipped out a .380 caliber pistol and shot Mera, according to cops. Friends loaded Mera into a car and rushed him to Jacobi Medical Center, where he died. Tyrell, who did 2 years in prison on a robbery conviction in 2013, was taken into custody at the scene. He was charged with murder for his collusion with Martinez Linares when the victim was shot. Cops caught up with Martinez Linares at his apartment in the Parkside Houses in Allerton later on. The Truth Bar used to be named Club Mystique and was listed on the NYPD's 10 most notorious clubs. From what we know, this situation was unrelated to the indictment. This event would close out the story, but then there is this part. The first murder we talked about in this story was that of John Williams, which took place on October 25, 2009. As we stated, it would take a decade for his killer to be apprehended. In February of 2020, Kendall Scott, 27 at the time, was busted by local authorities in Charlotte, North Carolina. Scott was 17 and a member of RICAN when he killed Williams, the rival True Money Gang member. The hunt for Scott included efforts to find him in Texas, Canada, and the Dominican Republic, and at one point he was suspected of working as a construction contractor for the US military in the Middle East, sources said. Scott was sharing a home with 2 men, one older and one younger, when he was arrested. He had been living there for at least several months, if not several years, and it was unclear how he's been supporting himself. He doesn't move around much, so that's part of the mystery about how he survived, one source said. In 2009, Kendall Scott was most wanted. Scott refused to talk to authorities and demanded a lawyer when he was busted. Not sure what his sentence was, but it wouldn't be foolish to think he was hit with a lot of years in prison. This about wraps this story up. In a future video, we will be doing some oops, can't say. We understand that a lot has changed since these times, and we want to update certain affiliations. But as always, stay low and thanks for watching.
Man, it's just crazy, bro. The stupid shit people do, man. And they get caught. I don't know, bro. This generation is just bananas, bro. They're bananas, bro. They're tripping. They're on a whole another level. It shows who wants to be the toughest, the hardest, but when they get locked up, nobody cares about them. They're forgotten about. You know what I'm saying? While they're in prison crying, nobody loves me, bro. My hood don't even call me. They don't send me money. What you expect? Y'all locked up. They free. They living life. You're not. But you put in work for the hood though. But that's all. That's all it is. Your name is just a memory. Let me know, man. What you want me to react to next? Um, this Harlem Gang War. Taft, Air It Out, Wody, and TMG. 4 damn projects right next to each other, beefing with each other. That's just crazy, man. Did you help me? That I say? Hope you enjoyed this reaction. Hit the like, dislike, comment, subscribe. Get the views up, likes up, all that good stuff. Hit me up in the comment section. You want to help the channel out, man? All my shit is in the description. Help an essay out, man. I'm trying to get a new camera or something. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, until then, you help me an essay. I'm out.